I think emotional support is a really big aspect of all of our lives, dealing with MPN and other cancer issues on a regular basis. I think if you don't have the emotional support and the connection, I think it's hard to deal with these. When I first came to a support group and someone said to me those 5 magic words, "I know how you feel," and I knew that they really did know how I feel, it meant everything to me, because I had felt so disconnected from everyone prior to that. I just kind of felt like I was floating out there, and I didn't have a connection.
What I would tell people who are in a similar situation as me is try to connect with the organizations, the local organizations specific to your illness, because I do find a comfort connecting, even if it's through reading the chats, even if it's indirect, or one-on-one.
What I would tell people facing a similar kind of cancer diagnosis is to pay very close attention to how your body is feeling. Drink lots of water, and don't try to be Superwoman anymore.
Take it upon yourself to research, because doctors do miss things, and I do have faith in the medical community, but if something's not right for a number of years at a time, take your power and get second opinions or go to another doctor. Don't just let it rest, because you're relying on them to look at it and identify it, because sometimes, for whatever reason, things can be missed. The tips that I would give to others in working with their healthcare team is to try to be firm and try to speak up and advocate. And if you can't, get a family member or a friend, because sometimes it can be intimidating. You feel vulnerable. And if you've been suffering, like in my case, for several years before you get a diagnosis, it's hard to feel like your voice is being heard. One tip I do have is the social workers are very helpful, and talking to them even prior to an appointment, I feel more empowered to face the doctor when I go in.
I think if you find that you can just raise your hand and say, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to deal with this, or this never happened to me before, what do you think I should do? If you just say, I don't know what to do, and how can I get help with this? I think that's a really important aspect.
My healthcare team has been very coordinated, very good. They respond very quickly. And my big tip for anybody in dealing with your healthcare team is do your research. Know what you're doing. Ask questions. Be an advocate for yourself. Don't just rely on the doctor. Push them a little bit if you need to.
The dance classes allow me to get the blood flowing, but then I control how far I go with my body. And then I'm free with the movements. Like, I'm not doing high kicks and plies or anything like that, but just kind of moving at my pace and controlling how much energy I'm putting out. And so for that 10-minute increment, I'm not in any pain. I'm not negotiating, my energy level. And it keeps my life force going. And I realized it keeps the blood circulation going, which is very important.
Stress is one of the key things to manage, because stress impacts how well your immune system's doing, and it impacts how your fatigue. Also, I learned very early on in my life to just let things go easier. If something really, like driving down the freeway, and you say out loud in your car, very loudly, all the things that you wouldn't say to the person in fact about how they're driving, or something that happened at home, or something that happened in life. You express it, and then you just let it go.